Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Oh, look, Julie B. Thank you for becoming a member. Hey, Georgia. Actually, I must have, ma'am, come back to Laura Perplex, Georgia. I don't know. She doesn't come here. Welcome, Julie. Thanks for becoming a member. Creative Minds, Alicia, Edith, Harlot, People Made Poor, Linda, Frigates and Shiggles, Lee the Bee, Pointer Lover, Fragile Like a Bomb, Amasali. We have Boho Hobo, Sherry, Psychedelic Relic, Linda, Daniel. Hello, Crime Crochet Coffee, Simply E, Trish. I am Shiny Popstar, Lucy. What a lovely message. Good morning, everyone. The best part of having the day off is catching the lives. MJ, you're my favorite channel, and I appreciate all of your commentary. Thank you. Hey, Con Artist. That's so sweet, Lucy. Thank you. Hi, Claudia. You know what? Like the last few weeks of summer here. Hey, Tony. Hi, Brona. Hasn't been like, I wanted nicer weather. Hi, everybody. All right. So today we are continuing on with our Stauch trial recap, part 22. We're getting near the end. Not quite there yet. When I say near the end, you know, like we're like in the second half of the prosecution's case. Hi, Sarah Bellum. Hi, Grateful Mama, Tony. So what I know that we have left in my mind is as far as significant witnesses. And when I say that, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Every witness is significant. I'm just talking about going over it for a second time. Like the significant witnesses in my mind would be John Grusing. Oh, hell yeah, Grusing. Then we have another doctor. We have the Google searches. And then we have the defense putting on their case, which is Dr. Dorothy Lewis. I know we're all excited for some Grusing. And so we still got a decent portion left. Wait, this isn't what I was going to pull up. I was going to pull up this. So let me grab this before we get started. And hopefully we do not have any audio issues. You guys didn't say anything about the intro. You didn't mention that it was choppy, so I'm hoping it stays that way. So it's really annoying to do it when I have to share my whole screen. That English guy from the fake polygraph company on the sand, because they didn't need to. The prize, like it was luckily recorded, and it was recorded on their end. The significant part was in the recording. They didn't really need to have the guy testify to anything. Good, Harlot. Thank goodness that we are back to Teabag as opposed to Wade. What is going on with me? You know what? I think like we're just all desensitized to Letecia's crazy, because we've been going over it for so long. So with Wade, I think it's like different. It's pulling out different emotions in us that we're not used to. I know forgets and shiggles, but don't worry, like there's more to come. I got some photos I want to show you guys. That'll be for tomorrow's Wade Live. Hey Homer, how you feeling? Hey Megan. Yeah, it's a different type of crazy. Okay, before we get started, we have Thiago Elias Vargas Lopez. He has been missing since May 9th, 2023. He was allegedly abducted by his mother, Jancy Lopez. A felony warrant has been issued for custodial interference on May 23rd. This is Jancy. She is 35 years old. They look a lot alike. Here is an additional photo. So if you or anyone you know has information on his whereabouts, please contact the Wichita Police Department at 1-316-268-4111. All right, guys. Hey, Natasha. How do I feel about Sarah Boone? Is it true that she's not hired? Oh, no, now she is. She had another attorney now. And so, which honestly, and we'll be covering Boone's trial, but I'm a bit relieved. As much as, hey Meg, as much as I wanted to watch Sarah Boone go pro se, I genuinely had concerns, because what is important is that the victim's family and the victim themselves get justice. And I was truly concerned that down the line, if she did go pro se, that an appeal process would happen and the conviction, if there was a conviction, and I believe there will be, it would be overturned. And honestly, I did feel a little bit bad for her, and I know that's crazy, but she railroaded through every single lawyer, and she was clearly problematic for the most part of those lawyers, but I could see it in her face when she was trying to do it alone. And that's got to be very intimidating. So I know she did it to herself, Crime Crochet. Like, it's a very limited, I felt bad for her moment. But I think this is safer for everyone. Yes, Little Red, right? I think this is safer for everyone, because it's not about, oh, of course I wanted to watch her go pro se. It would have been entertaining. But it's not about entertainment. It's about making sure she is held accountable and the victim and the victim's family get justice. No, it's okay, Stephanie. I don't have sympathy for her either. I guess I just felt bad in that one moment where I realized you fucked yourself and you should have made it work with one of the 8 previous lawyers you had before. But it's got to be really overwhelming. You have no idea what you're doing. Hence why you should have made it work with your lawyer. But I think this is just better off in the long term that she is not representing herself. Hey Kathy for a Hi Little Red L. It's not continued yet. Again, I know it's scheduled for, was it October 7th? We're getting close. Hi Stephanie, hi Cherokee girl. So I'm she's lucky, okay? She's lucky. So it says that she appears to have a new attorney after representing herself for a short period of time. According to court records, Boone is now being represented by an attorney named James Owens. She has been represented by at least 7 different attorneys prior. Many of her attorneys have withdrawn or were forced out, claiming that Sarah would walk out on meetings or have ideas for her defense that didn't line up with theirs. But because her turnover rate was so high, the judge ruled in July that the woman had forfeited her right to an attorney. Until this week, Boone has been representing herself. And now a new defense counsel recently started representing Boone. Due to the evidence presented to them during this meeting, Owen says the defense needs more time to file notices, administer testing, and build relationship. Her 3-week jury trial is set to begin on October 7th, but her attorneys say this will not be enough time to develop the case the woman deserves. So the attorney filed a motion for continuance on Friday. The defense counsel was retained after responding to Boone's advertisement, something the woman drew up shortly after parting with a different attorney. I quote, "Looking for a prosperous challenge? Ready for your close-up on national television? Are you zealous with a side of keen?" The flyer read. The woman is facing second-degree murder charges after her boyfriend was found dead inside a small suitcase. They were allegedly playing hide and seek. Boone claims she fell asleep, forgetting to free the man in the luggage. However, they uncovered videos of Boone mocking the man as he begged for help. So, well, she had the right, Georgia. It's not that she lost the privilege for the state to provide the counsel. She was able to retain her own counsel, and clearly there's a lawyer that responded to her damn advertisement. Yeah, court appointed, exactly. But she was free to retain her own counsel. And she put out an advertisement and someone responded. I wouldn't be surprised if someone picked this up to go pro se or made some type of an agreement, because yes, it is a very it's a national case, and it's going to get a lot of publicity. Yeah, Georgia, yep. I don't know, Lee the Bee. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised though. Oh, he is pro bono crime crochet. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, because sometimes a lawyer will take that on just to get like the publicity, but it's also not a good idea to take on a case if you don't think you could win the case. So it's an interesting move. But honestly, I'm thankful, because it would have been very problematic down the line if she represented herself. Well, and that's a problem, Linda, is that it's kind of impossible for a new lawyer. And that's why every time she got appointed a new lawyer, it was extremely problematic, because it was so close to the trial. And the lawyer comes in and they have to basically start from scratch. And so we're a little over a month away from when her trial's supposed to begin, and this lawyer just came on. Yeah, the judge will grant the motion, but he won't extend it out too much farther. Okay. Have a right to an attorney no matter what. The lower income can get public. Yeah, and she was appointed like 7, and so at that point,
I'll leave it at that.
She was,
so with that,
she no longer has the right for a public defender, but she has the right to retain her own private counsel, and that's what this is now. Right, RL? I guess we'll see. I mean, I hope it doesn't get pushed into the next year. Like, it's gotta happen this year. It's gotta. And the judge seemed pretty adamant on not wanting to push it back anymore, which I don't blame him. Sarah is smart, Meg P. Sarah is smart and dumb at the same time, but if you, as ludicrous as her letters are and stuff, she's not, she actually understands, like, at least with Letecia, she just screams about the constitutional rights and stuff. Sarah actually has some valid points in her letter. They're just ridiculous at the same time. Hi, CS. So, but she is dumb, but she's not dumb. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's a stupid smart. She's a stupid smart. Megsy's here. Hi, Megsy. Hi, Nisa Mom. All right, guys. So we are on the second half of day 10. We're in the afternoon. I'm not sure. Leticia's still munching on her fingers. I'm not sure who we have up. If it's like a witness, we'll jump through it. If it's a decent witness, we'll stick with it. Hi, Beach Lover. The things she said about her previous attorneys were horrible. She really put their careers in jeopardy and made extremely serious allegations. Therefore, no sympathy from me. I totally agree. And she bulldozed through every lawyer. I just feel like the moment I saw her not knowing what the fuck to do, I think it hit her. So I really hope she doesn't screw up this opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sarah Bellum. All right, guys. So here we go. Let's see what witness we have up first.
Mr. Allen, call your next witness.
We'll call Tom Griffin.
All right.
Tom Griffin. Who dat?
Hopefully he's not wandering around in the hall.
He's with the herd of buffalo.
Mr. Griffin, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step. As you got to go around the other way. That's okay. Watch your step as you step into the stand.
He was going to high hurdle it. This looks like an expert witness to me. He's
All right.
got the expert witness
Mr.
vibe.
Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor.
He looks like an expert witness. It's true.
Good afternoon, Mr. Griffin. Will you please introduce yourself to our jury and then spell your name for the record?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Tom Griffin, Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, what do you do for work?
I'm a private forensic consultant in bloodstain pattern analysis, crime scene investigation, and reconstruction.
What kind of experience do you have in crime scene investigation, reconstruction, and bloodstain pattern analysis?
I spent 4 years as a crime scene investigator.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump through his introduction. He's probably going to be moved as an expert witness, and I'm just going to jump to the relevance of this case.
Analysis, both in blood. I have my own company.
Do you have
Perfect.
ongoing training that you
I
Yes, his
country
training.
one began.
What about professional affiliations? Do you have any?
Yes.
Friday since it stain pattern analysis.
Oh, he's a slow
For my
talker.
distinguished
Bless his heart.
membership in the as well.
So you alluded to my next question, which is, have you produced publications regarding
Yes. Move him as an expert.
analysis and crime scene reconstruction?
And
Yes.
was with as well as
So have you been hired by both prosecution efforts and defense experts?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Move him as a witness.
When you say the words crime scene reconstruction,
Crime scene reconstruction is
Yeah,
a
beach lover.
specialized
You don't need the
field
boring parts.
that looks at physical evidence that may include bloodstains.
Oh dear Lord,
goes
he's
and
going to be
you're
a slow
asked to
talker.
do work in a particular type of case. Are the parties paying for the type of opinion you render in a particular investigation?
No, sir. I only charge for my time, not my opinion in any way.
Okay. When we talk about bloodstain pattern analysis, tell the jury what we mean when we use those words.
Bloodstain pattern analysis is the examination of bloodstains, bloodstain patterns, their size, shape, distribution, location, scene context, and using physical characteristics of those stains and patterns, identify the nature of the pattern, and then possible events that may have produced any given pattern.
Do you guys want me
What
to
is
jump
this?
to when they actually go through the photos and so we could just hear him talk about Gannon's room and the blood spatter. Thanks, Homer. Homer gifted a membership. Please make sure to thank Homer in the chat if you just got that. Thank you so much. A blanket hello from Little Red O. Look at that. Oh, that rhymed. Look at that doggy. And that is that a tutu? I love it. Okay, I'm going to jump to the, bless his heart. He's a very slow talker, but let's just see what he has to say about the photos. Okay.
In the witness stand. And so actually, let's go to 540 first to get a better overall
I
view so
believe
we
it,
can then
right?
drill into where we are here.
And Tisha is attentive like she always is with these witnesses.
An overview photo of that bedroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
When we look at 558, point out which wall we're going to be looking at
Clips of love.
in 558. Nope, I need this picture up. There we go.
Oh, bless his heart.
People's Exhibit 558 is primarily going from the upper right-hand corner
Yes, RL.
down the wall and extending over to just at the electrical outlet.
I'm going to compliment you. You've got longer arms than most of the witnesses that have been here during this trial. You can feel free if it's easier instead of stretching to stand up and point.
Okay.
Your
Hey,
preference.
Natasha, we got Sherry.
Okay, so now let's jump
New
into
Noodle.
558. Okay, so describe what we're looking at for the jury as far as generally stains that are above the bed and stains that are below the bed based on what you just gave us.
Yeah, Brona.
I may refer to my list.
I think Leticia's interested in hearing them guess what happened and her knowing the truth.
Again.
We've
So
seen these
let me
pictures
ask you
before.
this
I'll zoom in
question.
for you briefly.
What you're asking to refer to, is that your report that you generated based on your analysis in this case?
Yes, sir.
Is it an expert report?
Yes, sir.
What things do you rely upon to create your expert report?
Information that I receive, photographs I receive, documents such as autopsy reports, lab reports. When I do an on-scene analysis, I have that information I bring into play. And I then examine, analyze the blood stains, look to characterize them, and ultimately issue a written report on my findings.
Okay. And as an expert in this field, is it common for you to rely on all of those things and your expert?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, particularly if I'm dealing with.
You relied upon in this case, including all of these stickers that are all over the walls in Gannon's room signifying blood spatter. Is that a fairly voluminous amount of information?
Yes, we're talking 54 stains on 2 walls.
And how
Hey,
many
Sadie.
pictures would you guess were used by you to make an examination of these walls?
"54 pictures, one of each labeled area on the bedroom
They did
walls,
Blue Star.
and
poor
then
Linda.
additional photographs of blood stains on baseboard, the bottom of the walls, and then area of the flooring in that same southeast corner of the bedroom."
Each one of those, I'm going to use words that you might not agree with. So if I use words that you don't agree with, make sure you tell me, okay? Those stickers that are on the walls that look like little rulers. You see what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Do each one of those stickers have individual numbering sequence to identify separate and distinct blood stain patterns, or blood stains, I should say?
Hey, Cosmo D. Yeah, I'll show you where she's at. Hey, Ashley.
Not the
Hey, Stacy.
arrows, no, but rather the scales adjacent to some of the arrows. It's these individual metric scales that have identifiers for labeling each of those adhesive strips.
So when you say there's 54 stains, does that mean there's 54 stickers? One sticker essentially for each one of those stains?
Yes, there are 54 stickers, most of them by a single stain, but there are some that were by more than one stain.
And then you mentioned the arrow stickers. What are the arrow stickers for?
Would have to ask the person taking the photo of that.
Okay, so there's 54 stickers for the blood stains on there, and then a number of arrows on the wall that Alyssa Beresford or somebody else might have put there.
Yes, sir.
The pictures that we're looking at, especially as you look at Alyssa Beresford's photos, do they start out wide like this and then start to drill down in closer focus to finally you get a very up close view of a specific stain and sticker?
Yes, sir.
So would you say there are hundreds of pictures of this particular crime scene to get that detail starting out wide and then coming in focus?
At least 100, if not more. Yes.
Okay. And so when you ask about, can you refer to your expert report? Is it common for you to rely on that to make sure that what you're testifying to is accurate and making sure the jury understands what you're saying?
Yes, sir. If I'm getting into detailed information about locations of
Hey,
stains
hey, Chair Girl.
relative to some object or questions
Cookie
about
Mom.
any particular stain.
And so, Your Honor, based on that, I would ask that he have freedom to just reference his report, just as long as he tells us that he's referencing his report.
That's fine.
Oh, he's a slow.
So when I was asking
Art.
you before we went on that slight tangent, can you point to us on the wall, this being that eastern wall in Gannon's bedroom, generally which stains are below the bed level in Gannon's room on this eastern wall?
Hey, Wolfie. Oh, it's like he doesn't know. Oh my gosh. Oh, bless his heart.
Reading the labels, stain numbers aren't very visible.
That's fine. Just make sure you tell us which exhibit you're looking at so that I can put that.
Oh, bless him.
At 558. We're talking. I'm using
No
the
problem. Something to
pointer
talk about.
here, few inches above the electrical outlet. The stains
Hey,
that
Miriam.
are at or below the height of the bed extend from a couple of inches above the electrical outlet down.
What does that tell you when you're looking at a scene like this, that there's stains both above and below a bed that should have been in place in that corner?
That in order to create spatter stains, the blood source has to be, at least for some of the spatter stains, below where the top of the bed would be.
Okay.
I feel like I could explain this to you guys. I've spoken to you guys about this before. Essentially, what he is showing is the blood spatter and the events. One event is a stabbing. Another event could be a stabbing too. He was stabbed excessively. Another event could be blunt force trauma. And another event could be the shooting. What they are essentially going through is walking you through. It was not it was a very dynamic event, and there was movement, and there is blood spatter that at one point is from the bed level up, where he was either on the bed or standing up. And then there is also blood spatter that is below bed level, meaning at least 2 of the vents, which another witness will say, at least 2 of the vents occurred once he was down on the floor. It was a very dynamic murder. There was movement all over. It is unclear if he originated on the bed, but then the bed pushed out and he most likely landed between the bed and the wall. That is why there's that significant blood pooling in that like left corner of the room when you walked in. Okay. This witness is just kind of very monotone, and oh, she absolutely tortured him, Stacey Ann, and for the days leading up, not even just the actual day. This, witness is very monotone though, so it's hard.
Can you tell the jury what we mean when we use the phrase nonlinear spatter?
Looking at physical characteristics as a scientific approach to bloodstain pattern analysis, after determining if there are just spatter stains present, I then look for one of 2 physical characteristics. The first is, do any of the stains have a linear or curvilinear relationship? And if I find stains exhibiting that, I then examine them more closely, looking at their shapes in particular. If there is no linearity apparent, the next criteria I use is looking at the presence or absence of a radiating distribution, meaning, do the blood stains originate low at a point and then spread out, similar to what would happen with the axle of a wheel and the spokes of a bike coming out? Or the analogy that seems to work best with classes that I teach is to imagine a triangular slice of pizza, and the blood source is down at the tip, and the radiating pattern is going out along the rest of the pizza.
What they're determining is, and sorry for anyone else who gets very ADHD like me and his monotone voice, essentially what he's explaining is trying to determine the originating place that the events occurred. Is it possible that they all occurred down low and then it sprays up, it radiates up, it flies up off the object used? Or how are you able to differentiate events? Where did it start? Did it start up? Did it start down below? Where exactly did it start? And where is the blood spatter landing dependent on where the event is occurring?
Slice towards the crust and the edge. And if neither of those criteria are present, then I stop and call the classification as non-linear bloodstains.
Non-linear.
How did you classify these bloodstains?
They were non-linear.
Okay.
What does that tell you as a bloodstain pattern analysis expert?
That
Come on, sir.
eliminates the presence of, or the identification of patterns based on the size, shape, and distribution of those stains. Keeping in mind any possibility for some type of removal or stains falling off and things like that.
When you were out at the scene, and potentially even as you're looking at photos of this particular scene, these walls and the floor and whatnot, baseboards, could you tell whether there had been any cleanup efforts undertaken by someone prior to you being involved in this investigation?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that, please.
I noticed primarily along the baseboards, um, the appearance of diluted blood, some of it flowing along a horizontal surface or edge of a baseboard. That suggests a possibility of some type of diluting action on the blood stains.
Hi, Sprinkle
Example of
Donut.
which would be some type of cleanup or removal.
I'm going to have you pull up a particular photo here. Let me pull it up here in my list. If you flip in that binder that's in front of you to 647 and then beyond that, those should be pictures of the baseboard that were admitted under CSI Alyssa Beresford.
He's an expert, Little Red. He's just hard to really listen to.
And so what I would like you to do is identify a good picture that we can project up there, and you can describe what's saying.
Okay.
Sets of eyes on you. Put that photograph up on the screen behind you.
Okay. Here.
The wall,
Hey, Cat
the
Mom.
wall on the right half of the screen,
Wow.
I think that's the south wall.
Should be the south wall.
And we have a distribution of stains in the southeast corner that has aspects of a dispersion cone, but not enough that I felt comfortable saying was a dispersion cone. It's a distribution of stains that decrease as we go up from the floor along the wall. And just above the letter B as in boy on this baseboard, very near the vertical scale that runs along the window that I'm pointing out with the pointer, there is an open area between, I believe it was labeled B40 and B46. That shows an absence of blood.
You mentioned that when we first
I know,
started talking about
actually.
voids, that it could be that just no blood went to that area.
Yes, sir.
Could a person standing between a victim that's expelling blood prevent blood from getting onto that area as well?
So they're talking about the void area of the wall and why there might not be blood expersion spatter in that area. Is it possible that there is an object between that would have caught that blood spatter, including a person? Yes.
That's one option. Yes, sir.
What other options are
Hey,
there?
lovely Liquid.
Some other object that might be present there. And one of the
Yes.
supports for, again, presenting a void, going back to the example I presented of the clock or circular plate on a wall, that object, if there, it would have blood stains on it,
Yeah.
that
Contrast.
the blood landed on that intervening object and not the wall. So I would be looking for spatter stains on any object that may have been what we call an intermediate target. So that can be a person or an inanimate object.
Okay. We've talked already that there was a bed in place there. Was there also an absence of blood on the bed frame?
Yes, per Sergeant Hubble, there was.
Okay. Is that something you would rely on to make your analysis of this particular scene?
Yes, sir. That, and as well as during my examination on scene, I looked at the ceiling in the southeast corner. I did my own examination of the south and east walls with the idea a second set of eyes never hurts. And then On the blue table currently shown in People's Exhibit 540, I examined that and did not find any bloodstains on that table.
The fact that there was a bed at some point in that corner, can you tell based on your analysis that some bloodletting occurred with the bed in place, and then somehow the bed is moved and more bloodletting is happening in that scene?
That would be a possibility, yes.
When you say that that would be a possibility, what are you basing that?
Okay, so again, some of the events, the attack started and the bed was originally most likely in place, and then the attack occurred continuously after the bed moved out of place. Looks like a ladder. I'm not sure.
Not on.
The presence of blood stains on the
Good
mattress
question, poor Linda.
and the blood stains that are higher up on the wall. Though blood can travel several feet, so there could be an event on or near the floor that causes blood stains to be higher on the wall. But a bed in place as a horizontal surface could certainly be a item upon which
Oh,
the
so
blood source could be present at the time of bloodletting events.
Is it below the bed level that the bed had to have been moved at some point to allow blood to spatter onto those walls at a level lower than the bed?
Yes, sir, for at least some of the stains, because in looking at stain shape,
okay. I'm gonna jump past the answer because we have the answer. At least some of the events occurred after that bed moved. So I'm really curious to wonder if Gannon slid between the wall and the bed. That's what would make the most sense.
stain pointed at the 40 for the horizontal.
You mentioned earlier it's common for you to reference autopsy reports in your analysis and before you finalize your conclusions. Is it also common for you to reference lab reports?
Most definitely.
What would you be gathering from lab reports?
First, for bloodstain pattern analysis, I would be looking for DNA results. And then also results from DNA analysis on objects, including possible weapons, firearms, if they're involved in the case. So several disciplines other than just DNA for items that may have bloodstains on them.
Were you aware that bloodstains were swabbed in this room and submitted to the lab?
Lisa, well, he didn't go running out of the house because he wasn't seen running out of the house. Like, you have to remember that they have the ring cameras with the neighbors, and they never saw Gannon running out of the house, but she definitely tried. I think that fire was the first attempt. And then I think she was trying to make it seem like he intentionally started the fire by claiming he ran out of the house and was saying these dark things, you know? Hi, Michelle.
Based on your analysis and the work you did.
Yes, sir.
I remember, Lisa,
did
yeah.
you learn whose blood was on the walls?
On the outlet and yes, sir, on the outlet primarily.
Okay, and whose blood was it?
Oh my
On-
God.
I'm just asking you whose blood was it?
It was Gannon's.
Okay, and I think, were you just going to point out the outlet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and point that out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Linda.
Basically, the center of the screen on People's Exhibit 540. There's an electric outlet.
Thank you. We know where the outlet
Of the
is.
plate and the outlet itself showing a reddish substance. Oh. And then DNA results reporting that the DNA profile matched Gannon's.
There's an objection, but I can't hear very well.
That's fair, Judge, and we are going to have that at some point. We're just not there yet. So, Mr. Griffin, in your training and experience in this field, do you submit swabs from every single blood?
All right, I'm jumping to
Okay, so we've got
these.
684 on the screen there. Is this just basically that same southeast corner of Gannon's bedroom with those same blood stain markers on the walls?
Yes, sir.
And then if we move on to 685,
Look at
what is
that.
685?
That is the photo taken in darkness after the application of the blue star.
Does this photo, as we're projecting it on the screen, is it brighter than what's actually printed out in people's 685 in that binder in front of you?
Yes, very much so.
What does this tell us when we see this sort of, I mean, to me, it looks like a constellation in the night sky or something. What does this tell us?
Blue star is a chemical that's used as a searching tool for diluted blood. And it is a presumptive indicator of blood. Blue star will react with non-blood, but it's designed to go react primarily, or to react and show the presence of diluted blood.
So let me ask you a question, just to clarify really where I want to go with this. And that is, this looks like more than 54 marker potentials. Why are we seeing more in this than we see when we look at the overall normally lit photographs with the markers stuck to the wall?
The bright blue color from the blue star would indicate
Oh, this witness.
areas of possibly diluted blood being present on scene on both the walls and the baseboard and the floor.
No way to tell for sure whether that all of those spots would be blood though, correct?
Correct, not without sampling and good luck.
Okay. And if we could go on to 686. Is this the overlay of 684 and 685?
Yes, sir.
Again, is this brighter than what's printed out in people's 686 in the binder in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Why do we not see, I'm looking at the floor with
Don't forget,
bigger,
Gannon's biological grandma slept right there in that bed with all of that around her, unknowing to her. And on the 1-year anniversary of Gannon's murder, Letecia and Aunt Brenda were on that call we listened to, mocking that same grandma for doing an interview and being upset.
blood stain on the concrete there. Why is that part not blue, even though that's blood?
Oh, this witness.
There could be a couple of reasons for it. One
He's
is
on the couch, and there is mark on the couch.
amount
And
of blood might be so minimal that the blue star has no reaction with it. And
Shirley.
therefore, no reaction as shown in the other areas. Could also be due to the spraying of the the Blue Star, and areas that might receive more of the Blue Star reagent than other areas?
Is luminol and Blue Star essentially the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on
That's
what
what
you're
she
seeing
said,
in this particular
Lisa.
scene, I'm going to make an assumption in the way I'm asking this question. If that's all a result of what happened to Gannon, based on your reviewing
Hey,
this scene and the
EJ.
autopsy report, is it likely that Gannon would not be up and walking around after suffering this attack?
Hey, Rhonda. Come on, sir.
From bloodstain pattern analysis, I
Oh.
can say that with it being Gannon's blood, he's on or near the floor for at least one, or in some cases, a minimum of 2 impact events, spatter producing events.
Listen to what he just said, even though it's not even answering the question that Michael Allen asked. But based on the blood spatter, he would have been on the floor for at least 1, if not 2 of the events. And when he says events, 1 stab is an event. 1 blunt force is an event. 1 shooting is an event. So at least 1, if not 2 of the events he was already on the floor for.
But I'm not able to opine on his mobility in relation to that.
Well, you reviewed the autopsy report, correct?
Yes, sir.
There's 4 blunt force trauma injuries to the head, right?
Yes, sir.
There's also the gunshot to the left chin slash jawline.
Yes, sir.
In that autopsy report, it has trajectory of the bullet through the head area of Gannon,
Yes, sir.
including potentially, according to the doctor, that it severed the spinal column.
Yes, sir.
So can you not make a likelihood determination based on that information in conjunction with your scene?
It goes outside of area expertise. Objection.
And that's a fair, because it's not
Okay.
his area.
As far as your report, we can take the photo down. As far as your report, we've already talked about the contents of it being based on lots of different things, right?
Yes, sir.
No, the gunshot, RL.
Your training and experience goes into producing this report.
Yes.
Photographs,
Yes, sir.
access to and review of other expert reports like the autopsy report and crime lab report, including DNA.
Yes, sir.
Would it be helpful for the jury to have access to your report in some point after you're on the stand?
Ooh, tortellini.
Sustained.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move for admission of People's Exhibit 682, which is his report, and that would be pursuant to CRE
Ooh,
1006.
tortellini doesn't like it.
I'm going to object to the report actually going into evidence, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, let me see the
Stephanie,
report.
that's what the prosecution was putting forward. They asked the medical examiner, could those blunt force injuries be sustained from the butt of a gun? So the fact that they never found the sharp force weapon, and we know it was a gun, and they never found the blunt force, I'm trusting that they have reason to believe the butt of the gun was used.
I'm surprised they haven't done a sidebar here.
Thank you.
Hey, Bella.
The defense does not want
I
this
know,
expert's
right? This could
report
be
to be
your
evidence that the
husband and
jury
wife,
can
Bella.
peruse and consider during deliberations. Tease into that Yeah.
sustained on a little bit different grounds. First of all, this is an expert report to the extent that it requires expertise to understand any of the items that are contained in the report. The jury would not have this expert with them at the time to try and understand what the report meant. Plain report is cum and I.
I'll retrieve that from you, and then that is the conclusion of my questions.
All right, Tortellini, you're up, sir.
Let's see if they have much for cross
Good
here.
afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm well, thank you.
All right. I want to ask
Yes, Stephanie.
some questions, and if I'm incorrect, just let me know.
But the box cutter
Um,
did not do the injuries, the sharp force. The depth of the injuries were much deeper than the box cutter would allow. But they did find 2 scissors in the dishwasher along with other cleaning supplies. And a kitchen knife was missing.
The blood stains, were you able to determine kind of the size of those blood stains?
For the ones on the wall,
Ones on the
yes,
wall.
sir, they were a millimeter or less in size.
And what would that indicate to you? Would that indicate low velocity, medium velocity, or high velocity?
We don't use those velocity terms in bloodstain. What the size indicates is a spatter producing event. So that blood is broken up by some type of energetic activity.
Can you tell based upon the size of the stains, what was the event that caused the spatter? And just for example, my understanding is like a gunshot is going to produce smaller spatter than blunt force trauma. And so based upon the size of the blood stains that were on the wall, can you make a determination or an educated guess on the mechanism?
No, sir. You're correct in that generally blood patterns produced by gunshot wounds create smaller blood drops and therefore smaller stains than you get with blunt force trauma. But based on the size of the stains, I don't feel that I can eliminate an event.
Is that because that it had been there? It appears there have been some effort to clean that, or is that because of the way that the Blue Star picks it up? Or is there some other type of reason that we're not able to use the size of the blood stains to make a determination of the mechanism?
I would say it's a combination of the apparent removal of blood stains, such as by however you said, washing or cleaning.
Okay.
And the ability of the Blue Star to indicate the presence of diluted blood whose stains may be too small to actually see.
Okay. The gunshot wound to like the underside of the chin, what type of blood spatter would you expect that to create?
The term that we apply to blood associated with gunshot entrance wounds is called the back spatter. It's blood that has blood droplets that have come back towards the direction of force. So I would be looking for primarily blood stains, 1-2 millimeters in size, maybe less.
Okay. Or I don't think the gunshot wound, since that was only an entrance wound, would he have had to be facing the wall for any of the blood spatter to come from the gunshot wound?
Not necessarily facing the side of his head, could be positioned so a dispersion cone partially goes that way towards the wall.
And how close would he have had to been to the wall for the gunshot wound to cause the blood spatter?
There's no hard limiting data for that. It's usually looked at as being within 4 to 6 feet.
Okay.
Oh, sir.
And so do we,
And I know he is an educated man. I know, but I really do think that this tends to be an issue for jurors. Is it makes a very big difference when you have a witness on the stand who is very monotone, very slow like this, very the answers are not direct. Because when you have a high energy witness, and I'm not talking about like bouncing out of the seat, but just like speaking loud and prominent and like it keeps you engaged, I'm concerned that the jurors are not actually absorbing it. You know what I mean? MK, thank you. MK just MK just gifted memberships Will Cook style. So please make sure you thank him if you just got one of those memberships. You know what I mean? Like if I was a juror, I would kind of be, yeah, you could tell when Werner gets bored. Like he leans back and his eyes go up. But yeah, being more animated, like it really helps. It truly does help. I'm not saying I don't want to be disrespectful. I know part of it can be, his age and stuff. I know he is brilliant in his field, but I get concerned for jurors because think about how much testimony they're really not absorbing just because of the witnesses delivering of it.
is the term like low velocity, medium velocity, and high velocity, is that no longer used in your field?
That's correct.
Okay.
Swigstein worked on those terms and replaced them.
When did you do that? A while ago?
Swigstein, we formed in 2002, so somewhere in the mid 2000s.
Okay. But I mean, there still is, my understanding is the mechanism will produce different size droplets of blood to spatter. So something that is contacting at very high velocity will make smaller blood stains. Something at a medium, blunt force trauma used to be referred to as medium velocity because it's kind of a medium speed of the blood flowing out. And then there was low velocity, that can come from like a knife wound or something like that. Is that so generally a premise?
It's still generally looking at the preponderance of stain size. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Natasha.
Are you able to make a determination based upon the size of any of the blood spatter that was on either one of the walls, whether they were caused by a sharp object like a knife wound or whether they were caused by something that'd be more akin to what we would call medium velocity in the old days of blunt force trauma?
I'm not able to.
Can you tell how many events
Feel better, Michelle?
took place to cause that blood spatter?
A minimum of 2 based on the dispersion of the blood and the direction blood drops have traveled. So the minimum is the best I can offer.
Can you offer a maximum?
No, sir.
Could it have been many? 10?
Again, I can't put a number to it, sir.
Okay. Would any of the events had to have occurred above the bed? Because we talked that some of them had to occur below the bed based upon where the spatter was. There's anything indicating that any of them would have had to occur above the bed?
I think it's possible. Yes, sir.
Anything that you saw that would indicate one more than the other?
No, sir. Not given the potential for cleanup.
Hey,
You reviewed the autopsy?
Excuse me?
You reviewed the autopsy in this case?
The report, yes, sir.
You're aware there were also 2 bullet projectiles found in the pellet case?
Thanks, Ashley.
When Gannon was recovered?
Oh, God, sir. You should know that.
I'm not remembering it independently, sir.
Okay. You didn't see anything in that room that would indicate an object that had been struck by a bullet?
Correct. I did not.
And lastly, you're not just here out of the goodness of your heart.
No, sir.
You're getting paid by the district attorney's office.
Yes, sir.
How much are you getting paid?
Our company rate is $295 an hour.
And do you know how many hours you put in on this?
I don't want to hear shit, Tortellini, until we talk about how much Dr. Dorothy Lewis is getting paid.
I don't remember the billing hours I did for my on-scene analysis in the report. It's more hours than I billed.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. No further questions.
Redirect.
So we got a discount?
Okay, thank you again.
You were asked about different sizes of these.
Well, there's different blood stain analysis, Brona. You know, like to us, the layman, you know, like it might all seem the same, but it's really not. Different experts can testify to different specific things in their field. So it's not just, oh, hey, I swabbed this, that's everything is compartmentalized and they have to testify. And you know what? Honestly, think about it like this. Oh, Swedish house boss, nice to see you again. Think about it like this. You're putting someone away for life. This is their life. So you better be thorough, you know, like you have to be thorough. Someone like Wade, who is sentenced to death, you better be thorough.
The potential for different sizes by Mr. Tellini. You testified previously, though, that each one of these was 1 millimeter or less. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did the fact that this area appeared to have been cleaned up impair your ability to find bigger and smaller size blood stains on this wall?
That's possible, yes.
You were asked about the number of events and you said minimum of 2, but you could not give a maximum.
That's correct.
Right, this all
In
That's
reference to
true.
that, you obviously saw the autopsy report.
Yes, sir.
So could it have included enough events to include 4 blunt force trauma injuries, 18 stab wounds, and 1 gunshot wound? Can it go that high?
Oh my God. Sir.
It's possible, factoring in that
Oh, sir.
incised wounds such as were reported for Gannon's hands and arms, they can act as blood sources as well to produce spatter stains.
Meaning, let me break in there. Do you mean that an arm might be moving and causing blood to fly off the arm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have.
Do any of the jurors have any questions?
And it really truly does make sense to talk that slow when you're being paid. Like he just spent $5 in his hesitation. But yeah, I said you're allowed to be here if you want to fucking support Wade, even though tonight's not about Wade, that's fine. But blue hearts in this chat only are for Gannon. We don't give blue hearts for Wade. Blue hearts represent Gannon. Yeah, she did, Lisa.
Griffin.
Jury questions?
No, all right.
No,
Thank you, sir. You
no.
may step down.
The jury, it was even like, nah, fuck that. Like, please, like, we gotta get to the next witness. All right, let's see. Who do we have?
Recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Records should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Prosecution, call your next witness, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We'd call Detective Pete Woods to the stand.
That's a
And the
funny
judge tip
name.
is over.
Pete Woods.
Now we're cooking.
Detective, if you would step forward and raise your right hand. It'll be up there. Somebody else already did that, so that's okay.
Sorry, hiccup.
Raise your right hand, sister. You swear affirm the testimony back on this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Go ahead and see the witness stand.
You're not the only one that did that either, so.
Yep, it's all good.
Good afternoon, Detective. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Peter Andrew Woods. I'm a detective
Peter.
with the Myrtle Beach Police Department. Spelling of my last name is Woods.
How long have you been with the Myrtle Beach Police Department?
I'm starting on my 16th year with the Myrtle Beach Police Department.
I'm guessing
Oh,
it's
is
more
that-
Prior
like
law
Boston,
enforcement experience?
Prior to that, I did 20 years with the New York City Police
New
Department.
York.
I would have
I
never guessed
heard
that in
it.
a million years.
Little New York accent. Thought it was somewhere up north.
So if my math's correct, 36 years of law enforcement experience.
Yes, sir.
What are you laughing at, Tisha?
What are you doing now for the Myrtle Beach Police Department?
The last 7 years, I've been assigned to the Joint Terrorism Task Force of the FBI as a Myrtle Beach detective representing the interest of Myrtle Beach Police Department in the world of then domestic terrorism and international terrorism.
How about in March of 2020? What were you doing for the Myrtle Beach Police Department?
I was still assigned to the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We were made aware of a person that was wanted by the municipality, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and I took part in, I gave a briefing for the arrest of a person that was wanted.
Would that have been on March 2nd of 2020?
The briefing, yes, was conducted at 8 a.m. at the Myrtle Beach Police Annex located in the city of Myrtle Beach at 3340 Mustang Street. I briefed the Myrtle Beach Street Crime Unit and the Myrtle Beach SWAT police officers.
And who was the person that you were briefing about, I guess, to arrest?
A woman named Letecia Stauch.
And was there a warrant for her arrest out of Colorado, El Paso County, I think?
Yes, there was.
And so who was involved in this briefing?
Myself, I conducted the briefing, but it was the members of the Lieutenant Jeremiah Beam and all of his members of his street crime unit, and Sergeant at the time Smith and members of his SWAT unit.
Were the FBI involved in this briefing?
They were also there earlier, and it was Special Agent Grant Lowe was there, and another
Ron?
TFO, Ryan Sipe, task force officer.
And
Hey, Mindy.
what did you brief about? What was the purpose of this briefing?
We were made aware of that Letecia Stauch would be dropping her daughter off at the Air Force recruiting station. The Air Force recruiting station is located in the city of Myrtle Beach at 1100 Coastal Way, and that she'd be dropping her daughter off there. It was determined for safety reasons that once,
Pets I love. Have a good night.
in South Carolina law, anyone under the age of 18 is considered a juvenile. So when she was dropped off, we figured it was the best opportunity to take her Letecia into custody without anyone being hurt.
You mentioned this Letecia Stauch's daughter. Do you know what her name was?
Haley Hunt.
Was it Harley?
Holly Hunt.
Harley Hunt.
Yes.
And did you have pictures or photographs of these individuals so you know who you're talking about?
We had done previous surveillance before leading up to the arrest, so we knew what she looked like and we knew what Letecia looked like.
Okay. And do you see this woman named Letecia Stauch in the courtroom today?
Squarehead.
Yes, I do.
Could you point her out and describe what she's wearing?
She's wearing a white
Wallpaper.
blouse with patterns of like flowers and other figures on it.
Other
Seated to my
figures?
left here.
Yes.
May the record reflect identification.
That big old Roblox character. That Lego.
So how did you get this information that she was going to drop Harley off at a Air Force
Yeah.
recruiting station?
Yes, Stacey.
Special Agent Grant Lowe was in contact with El Paso and also with the FBI folks out here in Denver. So they had gotten us that information.
And do you know how long the defendant and her daughter were under surveillance?
For me, we had started watching her since the Thursday before. The arrest was taking place on that Monday.
Most people here sound
So
like
since that
Telly
Thursday,
Beans.
we watched Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So you had a good idea of their activities, and then you later learned on Monday Harley was going to be dropped off.
Yes.
And so what was the significance, again, of having the defendant arrested after her daughter was dropped off?
The significance was far as safety for all concerned, because she was in a house with other people, and that was a search warrant was done at that house also, but we wanted the least amount of people at the time when we would take her into custody.
And did you have surveillance units out there on March 2nd 2020, following them and watching all these activities take place?
Special Agent Grant Lowe followed them into the city and gave updates to all of the the Myrtle Beach Street Crime Unit, myself, and all the other people that were set up at the mall waiting for them.
And so was there a point in time where it became safe to make this arrest of Letecia Stauch?
Yes, once it was seen that the daughter was in with the recruiter and that Letecia was driving the vehicle from the scene, that was the best situation for safety for everyone, and that's when she was arrested.
And describe the arrest for the jury. How'd it go down?
Rock painting lady.
She is driving away from the recruiting station, and a vehicle from behind and a vehicle from the front turn on the police blue lights and give commands to stop the vehicle. And Sergeant Smith and Police Officer Cooper approach the vehicle, take her out of the vehicle, place her in handcuffs. She subsequently searched, and the arrest took place less than a minute.
During this process, were you present? Could you see this happen?
Yes, I could. From where I was also sitting, we were all sitting in different places. I witnessed the whole thing.
Was the defendant the only one in this vehicle?
Yes, she was.
And what kind of vehicle was it?
It's a minivan. It was dark in color, and it had property in it. So once she was removed from the vehicle was closed. The keys were taken. It was taken to the Myrtle Beach Police Annex, which is located at 3340 Mustang, and it was placed in a secure area for the FBI crime scene people to process it.
And we'll get there in just a sec. I want to talk about the actual stop of Miss Stauch. Were these other vehicles that you described, one in front and one behind, were they marked police cars?
No, they were unmarked cars, but they had obvious police lights. They had the SWAT officers had uniforms where you could visibly see police written on the uniforms and the police patch of the Myrtle Beach Police Department.
Did the defendant stop?
Yes, she did.
Did she cooperate with the arrest?
She complied. She immediately got out of the vehicle and complied with all their requests.
She didn't try to run or didn't try to do anything like that?
She did not.
What were the individuals? Well, where were you at during this arrest?
Approximately 25 yards away.
Did she seem to understand that those were police officers who were stopping her and complying with their orders?
Yes, she did.
Now, you talked about the van being taken to a secure facility to be searched. Were you present when that van was searched?
Later that night, yes, I was present for when actually people, Special Agent Debbie Gordon of the FBI, when she went to process the van, had me walk around the van with her from the outside. She took photographs of it, and the van was secure, wasn't unlocked yet. And when we did that walk around, more correct, she noticed the suitcase, and she requested me to obtain a search warrant for the suitcase that was in the van.
Your Honor, with that, there is a stipulation to the admission of People's Exhibit 355 through 370.
I assume they're photographs.
3 items are not photographs.
Okay. But there is a stipulation of 355 to 370.
Right.
All right. Exhibits 355 through 370 will be admitted. Go ahead.
We're going to publish with the court's permission People's Exhibit 355. Can I approach and move the easel, Your Honor?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What do we see in People's Exhibit 355, Detective Woods?
That is the van that Letecia was driving that day, and that is the Myrtle Beach Police Annex, where the vehicle was towed to from the scene of Coastal Mall.
We can go to 356 now. What do we see in People's Exhibit 356?
356 is now, we've already obtained the warrant to search the suitcase, and now Special Agent Gordon has opened the doors and has started taking pictures of the property that's in the van.
Hey, Becky.
And I want to turn your attention to what appears to be an envelope in the center dash there. Do you see that?
Yes.
Did you know who that envelope was addressed to?
When it was taken out, I could see it was addressed to Letecia Stauch.
Okay, we'll go to 357. Is that the envelope we're talking about?
Yes.
And is the defendant's name on there?
Yes, it is.
We can go to 358
Emily,
now.
yeah.
What do we see in People's Exhibit 358?
Look, another suitcase, guys.
The largest thing is the suitcase, which is pink with polka dots, pink and white polka dots.
Is that the suitcase you alluded to earlier where you had to get a warrant for?
Yes.
We see a placard 1 in the driver's seat there. Do you know what was in that item?
There was his cell phone in that area.
Okay.
Hey, Caleb.
We can now go to People's Exhibit 359. What do we see in 359?
That was the suitcase that I had Detective Daniel Eddy of the Myrtle Beach Police Department go to the magistrate's office to get a warrant just to search that. He brought it down to me, and I delivered that to Special Agent Debbie Gordon of the crime scene unit of the FBI.
And this suitcase, is that the position it was in prior to anyone going into this van?
Yes.
We go to People's Exhibit 360. What do we see in People's Exhibit 360?
The suitcase is now taken out of the van and is being processed by Agent Gordon.
There's some gloves and some scissors to your right on a table. And to your left, there's a box that is People's Exhibit 361. If you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask you to cut that box open on the red tape on the top of it. And let's see what's inside.
Ooh, surprise box. Let's see what we have here. Again, was wrapped in a along with it.
What appears to be a suitcase out of the box. Is that the suitcase that you found in the van back on March 2nd, 2020?
This is it.
I was hoping for a
You
rabbit.
could possibly hold that up and just kind of display it to the jury. I'll move this box out of your way. Bags on the. No, that's okay. All right. At this time, I also want to show you People's Exhibit 405, which is an exhibit that's already in evidence. You see that suitcase anywhere in this picture? Right here.
Look at
Appears
that.
to be the same suitcase that you recovered from the van.
Yes, it is.
You can go ahead and resume your seat. Thanks. You can go to People's Exhibit 362 now. What do we see in People's Exhibit 362?
It's the same suitcase that we have here, and there's a blanket, blue blanket.
Did you see any blood on the inside of this suitcase?
I saw what I believe to be blood on the blanket, yes.
Unbelievable.
Could you point that area where you believe there to be blood? There's a pointer up there somewhere too, Detective.
Red handle on it.
We're old school here in Colorado, so we've got the,
Hey, Tracy.
I bet you're an expert.
There's no point.
Oh, did
can-
the
I can-
old guy
there you go.
leave with it?
Here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
And you said it appeared to be blood, but was it pretty obvious to you that,
I most likely would believe it to be blood, yes.
did you guys note that when you opened the suitcase up? I mean, you didn't say it's ketchup or anything like that, right? Okay. You can go ahead and resume your seat.
Right. Why'd she still have a
We can go
damn
to
blanket with blood on it
363.
at the time of her arrest?
What do we see in People's Exhibit 363?
The
Rocket
blanket is laid out. Is laid out processing.
We go to 364. Why do we have this picture?
More, which appears to be blood on the blanket.
And 366, what do we see in People's Exhibit 366?
The contents that were underneath the blanket in that same suitcase that's here.
People's 367,
Is the contents being processed?
are you slowly removing items out of the suitcase?
That I was not, Debbie Gordon was doing that. I was there. Stayed here till the conclusion of this whole search.
Okay. And how about 368? What do we see in 368?
A black bag.
Now, this says placard 1. Does this relate to the placard 1 that we saw earlier in the driver's seat?
Yes, it was. That was in the driver's seat right here.
And then we can go to 369. What do we see in 369?
That is a cell phone that was in that bag.
And do you see any names on this screenshot of the cell phone?
I see Tisha again, and that is the same spelling as is what's on the suitcase.
And then 370 should be there in front of you. It's a physical exhibit. Already in evidence. But what is 370?
This is that phone that is being shown in that picture.
That's the phone that we see in the picture.
Yes, it is.
Did you or your agency eventually ship these items or have them shipped back to El Paso County
The
College?
the phone was taken for processing and everything was sent back to El Paso.
And were you aware what Ms. Stauch was doing after she was arrested?
She was taken also to 3340 Mustang for processing.
And
I don't think
are
so.
you aware of any medical concerns that she was claiming at that time?
Yeah,
Just ask
tell
him if
us.
he's aware at this time.
Yeah, no, I'm going to sustain it unless he heard it from the defendant.
Did you have any contact with the defendant?
Not about medical issues, no.
Did you watch any of her interview?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear her address any medical issues?
None.
She claimed she was having a miscarriage at the end of her interrogation and COVID.
Okay, we won't ask you that question then. Those are my questions, Jared. Thanks.
Cross-examination.
That exhibit up.
Sure.
That. Which name is the same name as the name on the suitcase?
One says Tisha.
Is it Tisha or Tila?
I have to look close.
I want to see what it says here.
I am wrong. That's not Tisha.
Okay, it's Tila.
Yes.
No further questions.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, redirect.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Wow.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Detective Woods?
I can't read it.
No? All right. All right. Thank you, Detective. You may step down. Once you step. You need to.
Thank you. The judge has opened his robe because
Thank you. Mr. Price, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. You swear affirm the testimony about giving this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes, sir. Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand.
he's
Please
got a
watch your
lapel
step.
pin.
Step into
We
the
know what that
stand.
means.
Good afternoon, sir. Will you please introduce yourself to our jury and then spell your name for the record?
Detective John, spelled Jon, Price, Price.
Mr. Price, what do you do for a living?
I'm a detective for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office,
How long have you worked for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
21 years.
What sort of roles have you held in law enforcement?
I've worked in the jail, I've worked on the road as a patrol deputy, and I've worked as a detective.
How long have you been in your current detective role?
6 years.
Okay,
Right.
yes.
I was assigned to primarily be at the searches of the house and also the vehicles. And later on, that kind of morphed into tracking some of the physical evidence as well.
How many times did you go out to the house at 6627 Mandan Drive?
I believe it was 5 or 6.
I
Okay.
never took mine down, Edie.
Each time you would go out to the house, Would you use new information that was gained through the investigation as a reason to go look for potentially more things in the house?
Yes,
You mentioned that you also got into some vehicles as well. Is that right?
yes.
What vehicles did you have a chance to search vehicles? Which vehicles?
I was a part of the search of the Tiguan and the Jetta.
Destination.
Okay, and what information did you have as it relates to the Jetta? Whose vehicle did you understand that to be?
Hey, Melly Lynn.
Harleys,
Harley Hunt?
yes,
And then the Tiguan, who did you understand that vehicle to be?
the defendant.
We're going to hear from other witnesses at some point in this trial, but did you search with people from the FBI, the Tiguan?
Yes,
Tila Tequila.
Let's talk about the Jetta first. Was
Yes,
that search
the
conducted
Tiguan,
on January 31st,
Cosmo.
2020?
yes.
I'm going to approach with people's exhibits 709 and 710. Take a look at people's 709.
Yes.
How do you recognize them?
They are labeled as being identification documents belonging to Harley Hunt
Hey,
and
Sherry.
Letecia Stauch, which were collected from the Jetta. And they have my markings on them.
So did you actually collect those items from that Jetta on January 31st, 2020?
Yes,
You should have, I don't know if you want to wear gloves for those items or not. We're going to open those up. If you want to wear gloves, go ahead and do that. And there should be some scissors there. And let's start with people's 709.
Or
So you've got the items out of people's 709 now?
yes,
Do you recognize those items specifically?
yes,
Are they in the same condition today or roughly the same condition today as when you collected them back on January 31st?
yes.
At this time, I'd move for admission of people's exhibit 709. What do we have in people's 709? And just explain that to the jury, please.
709 has Harley Hunt's passport.
Mm.
It has her social security card, has a passport photo, and a South Carolina school document pertaining to Harley Hunt.
Okay. Are you familiar with passports?
Yes,
Are you familiar with how sometimes passports will get stamps in them if you visit foreign countries?
yes.
Can you look through Harley Hunt's passport and tell us if there are any stamps in there for any visits to foreign countries? Those documents back into the evidence envelope. Those off your desk there.
pin belong. They don't work like smart trial.
You've pulled out of the envelope that we have marked with an evidence sticker 710.
Yes,
Are they in the same or substantially the same condition today as the day you collected them back on January 31st,
Thank you, Sherry, for
2020?
being a member for
Yes.
a month.
Your Honor, at this time, I move for admission of People's Exhibit 710.
Defense? Objection. Exhibit 710 will be admitted. Go ahead.
What items do we have inside of People's Exhibit 710?
710 has Letecia Stauch's United States passport, has a passport photo, a security public library card with the name Tisha on it, a social security card in the name Letecia L. Harden, a social security card in the name of Letecia Harden Stauch.
I don't want you to read the social security numbers, but is the social security number the same on both of those documents?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is from a cruise, kind of a spending card from a cruise in the name of Letecia Stauch. Marriage certificate between Letecia and Albert.
Interesting. She took that.
A photocopy of the same marriage certificate. This is a printout of an email. Which,
No, that's okay.
photocopies of a South Carolina driver's license and the 2 social security cards.
What are the names on those
Oh, thank you,
documents of
Samantha
that photocopy?
Lewis. 7 months.
Letecia
Love you
Stauch
too.
and Letecia Harden, respectively. And a photocopy of the passport,
What's the name on the passport?
Letecia Stauch.
Yeah, that
Are
was in
there,
their vehicles,
in any of those
Becky.
documents that we just looked at, any documents with any other names for a first name and then Stauch? Any Taylor Stauch or anything like that?
No.
And you're opening up a secondary envelope that was contained in the evidence envelope?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dion.
Just a general email. A letter from the Federal Bureau of Investigation to Letecia Stauch.
Mm.
A North Carolina birth certificate for Letecia Stauch. A verification of K-12 educator experience form.
What is there a name on that one?
Little Lucia. Right.
It's difficult to read, or it's Harry County Schools.
Is it Horry County Schools?
Horry
HOR?
County, yeah.
Yeah.
That does have the name Letecia Stauch on it.
Okay.
A infant child CPR certificate in the
I
name of
would
Eugene
not-
Stauch.
Yeah, for Al.
I'm
Why
waiting
do
for
you have
doctorate
that?
A
diploma.
behavioral health consultation information form.
She definitely was 80. Yeah.
An appointment reminder form for Letecia Stauch. A American Red Cross infant child CPR form for Tecia Stauch.
Hey, Danny.
A medical report for Letecia Stauch, and a second page of that.
Okay. Go ahead and put those items back in that secondary envelope, and then I'll ask you some follow-up questions. Any documents in there that were addressed to or belong to a name on them with Maria Sanchez?
No.
Okay. Accessing the passport that you have there for Letecia Stauch,
Okay.
again, looking for stamps for visits to foreign countries. Are there any stamps in Letecia Stauch's passport for visits to foreign countries?
Thank you, Sherry.
There's a stamp
definitely
dated
not
October
80.
22nd, 2017. I can't read it. It says Department of Homeland Security, US. So I think that's probably a re-entry stamp, perhaps.
Okay.
A Jamaica stamp, December 14th, 2017. A Mexico stamp, July 24th, 2018.
I'm gonna drop you the link
That
right
appears
now,
to be all the
80.
stamps.
So are there any stamps in there from Australia?
No,
Are there any stamps in there for Colombia?
no.
You can go ahead and set that to the side. And then as it relates to the Tiguan, I mentioned that we're going to get into a more extensive search through some FBI agents later on in this trial. But did you do a search of that particular vehicle on February 1st of 2020?
Yes.
She didn't
I'm
work,
gonna
Little
approach with
Red.
People's Exhibit 325.
You may.
So they're talking about documents they retrieved from the vehicles that they searched, the Tiguan as well as Harley.
Do you recognize it?
Ew, keep
Yes, it is
your
labeled as
stanky
a
breath away.
receipt from the Colorado Springs Airport dated January
Good night, Brona.
28th from the front passenger
You're welcome,
seat
maybe.
of, and it's cut off there, but I know it's the Tiguan.
Okay. Is that an item that you actually seized from that Tiguan search on February 1st, 2020?
Yes.
You go ahead and open up that envelope, please.
Open it up, sir. Look at her stanky breath giggling with
Exhibit
cook.
325.
Yes.
Is it in fact that parking receipt from the Colorado Springs Airport?
Yes.
Is it in the same or
I can't
substantially
wait. I'm the
the
prize.
same condition today as the day that you recovered it?
Yes.
All right, move for admission of 325.
No objection.
I really don't know.
Is there printing on that, automated printing from the Colorado Springs Airport?
Yes.
Gosh, damn it. All right, hold on.
Are you familiar with the parking arrangements at the Colorado Springs Airport?
Yes,
Have you gone there both professionally and personally?
yes.
Okay. So to obtain that type of a receipt from the Colorado Springs Airport, what do you have to do?
When you enter in a vehicle, you get a parking voucher ticket, and then as you exit, you would pay
Yes, we know all
20.
of this, sir.
7:02 p.m.
Hey, Lily.
That type of evidence, parking receipts from an airport like that where there's stamping time stamps on there, does
Get
that
your
help
fingers out of your mouth.
determine movement of
Yes,
somebody?
yes,
Okay. And is that why this particular item was seized in this investigation?
yes.
Were
T-shirt.
there other things that
Get your stanky
you
fingers
collected
out.
from vehicles that ended up not necessarily being helpful to the investigation?
Sure.
Things like dirt samples or vegetation samples from the undercarriage, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Did that lead to any sort of investigative leads that allowed you to pursue what might have happened with Gannon?
They did not lead very far, no.
Okay. So I have your own, thank you.
All right,
Cross-examination.
Cross. Come on, Cook.
Mr. Cook?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think the searches are next, guys.
Detective Price, hi. How
Good
are you?
afternoon.
My name is Will Cook, and I'm representing along with Mr. Tellini, Letecia
Oh,
Stauch.
no, maybe not.
Stauch.
He doesn't know his client's name.
No, he doesn't know his
Do you
client.
remember writing a report on February the 18th of 2020, and you requested a laboratory examination of quite a few different items?
Yes,
Okay. And it looks like I'm looking at 15 different items that you requested to be tested. DNA profiles were requested to be developed from those items. Do you remember that?
yes.
Do you know if all the testing was done and completed ultimately on those?
I believe sometimes the lab omits certain items based on their own judgment of the best use of resources. So I'm not sure if every single item was eventually tested, but I know certainly many of them were.
But if I'm telling you, I'm looking at this report where you requested 15 items be tested, you have no reason to believe that you didn't follow through with that and actually order those items be tested.
I did. I ordered those to be tested.
Do the labs, the scientist or the phlebotomist or the serologist or the DNA analyst, do they have the ability to reject a request for a test? Can they say, I'm going to override you, detective, I'm not testing this, and this is why? Or I'm sorry,
Come
They
on.
do have discretion as to what they test.
okay. Do they usually get back and say, hey, I don't think we need to test this, detective, and this is why, and you all agree?
Sometimes.
Or will they just unilaterally not test something?
It depends on the circumstance, specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this investigation, this was a huge investigation, correct?
Yes.
You've had there's been several other deputies that have come up and testified that this was the biggest one they'd ever seen.
It was quite large, yes.
This between the search and the multi-state nature of this investigation, this is the biggest thing by far they had ever been involved in.
That's a fair statement, sure.
Okay. And in fact, you collected air filters from a Kia Rio, cabin air filters from a Kia Rio, and soil debris from the wheel well of a Kia Rio. Is
Yes.
that correct? And ultimately, the soil debris was sent up to a scientist or an expert in Fort Collins, and they couldn't make heads or tails of anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What specifically are you looking for, though, when you're collecting soil debris from the wheel well of a car?
At the point that those items were collected, we had not yet located Gannon. And so we were looking for different soil and different vegetation, which might give us a clue where those vehicles had traveled to, and thus give us an idea of the travel patterns or where he might be located at.
Okay. At that time, did you believe that the Kia Rio had been used to dispose of Gannon's body, or did law enforcement believe that?
It was a possibility.
It was a possibility. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it looks like no stone was left unturned. I mean, the engine air filter from the Tiguan, swabs of the undercarriage of the Tiguan,
What's your point, Cook?
the Jetta that was driven by Harley. I mean, everything was swabbed, air filters were examined, everything was done.
It was a very thorough investigation.
Okay.
And what date was the Jetta and the Tiguan taken into custody or seized by law enforcement?
Don't know that off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
If I told you those vehicles were seized before the house at Mandan Drive was locked down or seized by police, would that sound reasonable to you?
Yes.
Okay. If I told you that quite a few days passed between the seizure of these vehicles, seizures of Miss Stauch's, the defendant, Miss Stauch's telephone, if several days passed from those events to when the house was actually seized and locked off, would that sound right to you?
No, we searched the house on January 28th, which was fairly early on.
Okay, but I'm saying when the house was actually seized
The
on
actual
February
seizure.
7th, like nobody coming in going, we're putting up the tape.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Yes.
Okay. Why did it take so long if you had Miss Stauch on the radar, you had taken her phone, you had taken her cars, you had taken her daughter's cars, you had all this stuff. Why did it take so long to take seizure and control of the house?
That's above my pay grade.
Okay,
I would have no idea.
that wasn't your call.
Yeah, I'm just a little fish.
Okay.
I need that soundbite. I'm just a little fish.
I even saw in one of the vehicles there were insects collected from the vehicle to have them tested to figure out where that car had been. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Don't see that a lot in an investigation, do you?
First time I've ever seen it. Yes.
Me too. Have you ever heard of a closed, and I'm talking about travel now, I'm switching. Have you ever heard of a closed loop cruise, as in a cruise ship?
Personally, no, I haven't.
Okay. And do you know in a closed loop cruise, you don't have to have passports?
Yeah, sustained.
Okay. Are you aware that on certain cruise stops, cruises will go around to different islands and stop at different places, that in certain cruises, you do not have to have a passport to get into the country?
I've never been on a cruise. I have no personal experience with cruises.
Okay. And did you know that there were cruise lines that will travel the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Jamaica?
Judge objection. He's already said he doesn't know anything about cruises.
Sustained.
All right. There's a couple of things I need to say. One, where did they find? Yes, lovely LaQuinn. Where did they find the bugs in the vehicle? That's interesting, right? And yes, second, creative minds. What does this have to do with NGRI? The defense was almost as scatterbrained as Letecia was. Hi, Indigo. They were almost as scattered with Letecia was with, are you going for guilty, not guilty by reason of insanity? When you're going for not guilty by reason of insanity, you're going for, I committed the offense, but I was not sane at the time. So it's not about trying to prove reasonable doubt. It's not about trying to point the finger at someone else. So not only did we watch them do this with Harley, but now we're even, what are you, entertaining something happen on the cruise? Are you really listening to Letecia? Are we going to go with the figurines in the suitcase next? What does this have to do? She did it. You're not fighting and arguing that she didn't do it. Like, this is insane to me. No pun intended. Thank you, Destination. Hold on, let me jump. Thank you so much. That's so kind. I very much appreciate that, Destination. Let me give you a thank you. Thank you so very much. It's just so bizarre, you guys. It's so bizarre.
If he doesn't know anything about cruises, he doesn't know anything about cruises.
It is, Cat Mom.
Defense might be wishing they had more than one person on their witness
That's
list
interesting,
right now.
Grandma Cece.
Maybe a cruise expert.
Because even if she did go somewhere on a closed loop line,
Do you know if passport stamps are required of U.S. citizens going to other countries in all situations, or are there exceptions?
I remember this. I remember this day because I made a meme about this. Where are you going with this? He already testified he didn't know specifically about cruise lines. Why are you pushing this? Where was defense trying to go with this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
And again, you don't have any idea about closed or loop cruises.
Oh my God.
Asked and answered.
No, I don't.
Look at Michael Allen. What the fuck's happening?
Can I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Tortellini, help me, man. I don't know what to do. He says he doesn't know anything about closed loop cruises. Fuck. That was my only
They're
line of
trying
questioning.
to answer why this passport stamp situation is what it is.
That's all I have. Thank you, Detective. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
Oh,
You're right.
poor Cook.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Isha.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Detective
Oh,
Price?
Tiger Lily.
I hope they have
All right.
cruise
Thank you, sir. You may
questions.
step
All
down.
right.
Before he leaves, Judge, can we have him put the items back in the?
Yeah.
We have
under the
one
film?
more
I was-
witness.
You're going to make
For
him put
this
away his
afternoon.
toys?
Probably a pretty good envelope.
That did have a second.
That's insanity.
She's just like, I went on that closed loop cruise. This is where it all started.
For those,
Stacey
there has
Ann,
been a
thank
disaster up in New
you.
York.
Thank you so much. I could heart it. Oh, I could heart it from the side. Thank you, Stacey Ann. Thank you for bringing us great content. Thank you for the support. It means so much.
There's possibly an video and pictures. It's
All
Playing
right.
some more of these recorded phone calls that we did earlier in the trial. There's, I think, 4 total,
oh yay.
and I can tell you the length of them if you'd like me to.
Ah, recorded call.
So People's Exhibit 51, which was previously, hold on just a second, was previously admitted
She reached
under
in the
Mr.
shirt for
Stauch, is 46 minutes long. People's Exhibit 52, previously admitted under Mr. Stauch, is 1 hour and 4 minutes long. Then we have a disc that will be admitted through Ms. Cronin that is 27 minutes and 44 seconds long. And then People's Exhibit 53 is another call that was admitted under Mr. Stauch, but will be published under Ms. Cronin, 29 minutes and 34 seconds.
She did reach in her shirt and got her earplugs. She's about to put her earplugs
The
in.
testimony about given this man will be the truth,
Is
the
the
whole
left
truth, and
ear?
nothing but the truth.
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Cronin. What's her
And we're
first
about
name?
to see her put the right ear in.
And go ahead and have a seat. Mr. Allen, are we going to be using that easel?
No, should I get that out of the way?
I think Mr. Combs
the
will
right ear.
appreciate it.
Be hard to get out if we don't.
Yep, that'd be great.
I believe she's using toilet paper from her
Thank you,
visits
sir.
to the restroom to use as earplugs.
I'll get this into the right envelope.
Okay. All right, Mr. Allen?
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Very well.
Will you please introduce yourself to the jury and then spell your name for the record?
My name is Amber Cronin, AMBERCRONAN.
Ms. Cronin, what do you do for work?
I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation,
How long have you been with the
Making
FBI?
another earplug.
about 15 years.
What training do you have that allows you to do the job you currently do?
I went through Quantico, which is about 5 months, and then I've had additional training since then, periodic training.
Do you also have education that you use to allow you to do the job you do?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in criminology and criminal justice.
Did you also serve in the military?
Yes, I did.
Did that help
Okay, great.
serve with the FBI? I know you said judicial district.
Yes, as part of the Colorado Springs resident agent.
Way of appearance.
El Paso County needed assistance, so they had asked the Colorado Springs Resident Agency, so we helped out.
What was your role in that investigation?
I helped out in multiple ways. I was part of the consensual calls that Mr. Stauch had with the defendant. I am also a member of the FBI's evidence response team, so I assisted on processing a couple of the vehicles. And I actually traveled out to South Carolina for the arrest.
Okay. During the time that this case was being heavily investigated, were there daily meetings, investigative driven meetings to just update everybody involved in the case?
Yes,
Did you attend those meetings?
I did.
Well, what was the purpose of those meetings other than just to update folks?
It's so we could know what was going on in the investigation, new developments of what we were finding.
Excuse me. Would investigators, detectives, special agents with the FBI come to those meetings and report whatever specific assignments they had, and then assignments would be made to act on those developments?
Yes.
You'd mentioned the consensual phone calls. What do we mean when we're talking about consensual phone calls?
It was phone calls between Mr. Stauch and the defendant that were recorded.
What was your role as that process played out?
I was one of the people that was in the room while those phone calls were being made, so I was
Not
able to
normally
listen to the
corner.
phone calls as well as at times ask Mr. Stauch to ask additional questions if we had questions.
Would you have meetings with Mr. Stauch prior to the phone calls actually occurring to give him tips on things to say or not say, that kind of thing?
Yes.
And then in the actual, while the phone calls were happening, would sometimes you would either suggest things
Keep your
to
hand
him or
away from
pass notes
Keisha.
to him to say or not say?
Yes.
Was another special agent, Johnny Grusing, also involved in that process?
Yes, he was.
Were those phone calls recorded?
Yes.
You know, at this time, I would request permission to publish People's Exhibit previously.
Okay. And Agent Cronin, you can go ahead and step. What are you? Do you have any
Not during the phone call.
like period of time
And Judge, would you like us to stop at about 10 till 5 till roughly?
until?
Okay, we'll do that.
46 minutes. We'll get most of this
Just-
call in.
Just for the record, Judge, People's Exhibit 51.
I'm going to try to make the audio as listenable as possible.
I think we need the screen to be able to see.
There's Tisha head goes down anytime we
see,
play her
this has
voice.
video with it.
No, there's no video, but like the other ones, the player actually pops up on that screen.
Oh, I got it.
With Al talking to Letecia. With Letecia.
Head down. Hey, Kathy D. Where is
I
it?
told her to call.
Okay.
Yes, I could try this when she's texting.
I know 80, right?
Hey,
Why are you moving again?
why do you think? I mean, it's like a week by week thing. I told you that.
You do what?
I'm like week by week in these hotels.
Why can't you live in the house?
Oh my
I
God.
don't know. I can't even like go in without an escort at this point. So
So how are you paying for hotels?
I just paid a little bit week by week, and Uncle Jeff paid for this past week. So I told you that already.
By
That
yourself?
yes,
Did you spend last night by yourself?
yes. Why? Who else would I be
God.
with?
Should have been with you, Albert.
You think I wasn't lonely on frickin' Valentine's Day?
So, Amber Cronin, the special FBI agent Amber Cronin is on the stand. But given that the phone call is 45 minutes, they allow Amber to go sit outside of the witness box. So she isn't sitting up there the entire time that the call is being played. But do you see how she tries to manipulate? Oh, I could have been with you. Who were you with? You weren't with anyone. Like we're talking about the murder of Precious Gannon, and her mind is so far off what it should be.
Okay, to be with you. I've been begging to be with you.
We can talk about that, but I want to talk about whatever you're talking about on this iCloud.
No, I logged back. I got into my iCloud finally because I only had partial whatever, and I couldn't do a backup. And I finally got the backup done, and there was like a crap ton of messages came through on my phone, and then there's this text message that they should have saw on my phone because it came through on February 5th, and it's like basically almost like a retarded person or something. But it says the boy or money or no boy. And I tried to get help. I sent it to the tip line to see if they can check. I've been trying to call all morning to get help, but no one.
Hey, I can't hear you.
I said no one helps me because I'm a bad person.
But
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. But what? I mean, that's all it said. No money, no boy, or something like that.
I'm saying there's a bunch of those voicemails. Like it came, I had 30 some voicemails, and a lot of them were bull crap and threats and stuff. So I went through all of them, and like literally all I saw was the first message that said that, and it freaked me out. And I had someone to look up the number to try to see where it was at, and it said that it originated from Washington. That it weren't one of those like fake things. It was actual number from Washington.
It really looks like someone.
Like I had someone track the number where it was at now, and it went to Roy. It was right outside of Roy Elementary.
Where's that at?
I don't know if this is like people scoring with me. I don't know, but I was trying to reach out to you as soon as I seen it, so that they should have solved this on my February 5th.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they're like laser focused on finding Gannon right now, and that's kind of the priority right now. I mean,
but that was why I was saying that. That is about Gannon. Why are you trying to make it seem like I wasn't saying that?
I'm not trying to make it seem like nothing. I mean, I did you tell them about what we talked about yesterday about Quincy Brown and all that?
I sent it in, yes. Do that same thing that they keep posting online because no one was writing back on the numbers that
Well, I guarantee you they're out looking for that dude now because he is freaking. You know how I get all worried about Mike and Landon and all that shit back home, and I looked him up and he's a freaking, oh my god, sex offender. He's a bad dude, Tisha. And if he's got my son and I'm freaking, you know how I was about Mike and he had some criminal stuff, but this is a whole nother level. So I'm sure they're out looking for him now. So.
Did you give them the information?
Yeah, you said you did. I mean.
Yeah, no, I did.
Right, you said you were talking to Bethel, right?
I sent a message to her, but she never wrote back. So I had that Kate somebody's number, the other lady that was with her that day. So I sent it to her because I was like, between her and her, someone would read the messages.
Okay, yeah. I haven't got it. Mark hasn't reached out to me this morning, but I'm sure that I mean, based on this dude being as freaking horrible as he is, I'm sure they're out there looking for him. Dude, I mean, can you remember anything else about Quincy Brown other than I know you said you saw his ID? I mean, they had the bike or the SUV, right, with the bike rack. I mean, anything close to an address at all that would help them? Now that you have more.
If you would let me come be with you and help, I will walk everybody through everything. But you're refusing that and not standing up for me to do that.
No, actually I am. I'm trying to get this relevant information that you're providing to them. So that is standing up for you.
Okay, taking up for me too is also you've got to understand, Albert, and this is not me trying to take away.
Oops, sorry.
From whatever. Unless I'm like protected completely.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's just a whole crazy thing you got to understand, Albert.
Well, help me understand.
Begging you to tell you that I begged you to come stay with you. I've been like, babe, let me just stay with you, spend the night. Please, I will talk to you, please.
How is sharing a bed with him, Tisha, going to allow you to give the information you so desperately claim you have? You shouldn't need Al to fuck you and share his bed with you, because that's literally what she's trying to do. For you to hand over the information that would lead to Gannon.
Everything. I tried everything, and you just keep telling me no, and I hate them lonely, and I hate all this because I'm not a bad person. I'm innocent. I agreed to even take a lie detector test for you.
Well, that's not for me. I'm not going to give you a lie detector test. Well, I mean,
it's not permissible in court because it's not. I said for you to believe me.
but who are you? Have you talked to them about this lie detector test, or you just told me about it?
No, I got recalled from a big time attorney. I got Jose Baez law firm willing to come and meet me.
She's got Jose Baez's law firm willing to come and meet her. Doesn't that prove her innocence? Doesn't every innocent person go to Jose Baez? Okay.
How much they know is screwed up.
Jose Baez.
You know who the Baez law firm is?
I don't pay attention to that shit.
Do you know who they represented?
No, tell me.
A lot of big time names.
The other guilty woman who murdered her child, and he got her off. That must be really reassuring to Al.
And like People magazine, people are like pissed that they're not, that the way that things are going is not the direction of my team. And so if you don't want to be on my team to be like against them fucking everything, then these people will put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
What are they gonna
do it?
What are they gonna put out there?
What?
That you're gonna take a lie detector?
No, yeah, I will for you. I will do it for you.
Well, let's do it then. Let's do it. Let's do it now. I mean, call the FBI or call whoever and tell them you're ready today.
Riley.
I don't know who to call. You have all these contacts. Nobody will talk to me.
The only person I know. Listen, I sent you a number. I think. What was her name from the FBI? Amber, maybe. I sent you an email. You look back on your email. You got a contact, and she when she called me that one time, she reached out and said, anything you need, any way we can help, anything we can do to help find Gannon. And I think that would qualify as something that would help. Okay?
What would qualify?
You're talking about this lie detector test.
That will help find Gannon by me taking a lie detector test that I've already told you.
Oh,
if you're listen, I know, but listen to me. Walk through this.
This is the type of manipulation. She's the one who first initiated the lie detector test. She's the one. You heard her on this call. I'll even do a lie detector test. And then the moment that Al repeats it back to her, I think that would be good for you to do the lie detector test. I think it would help in the next step of finding Gannon. What? Why? You think I need to do a lie detector? How would that help? Bitch, you just said it. You said that. And the fact that he led with and agreed to something you suggest, you're going to flip out on him?
Logically, you're smart now, okay? If you're saying they're barking up the wrong tree, okay, and that wrong tree is you, and a lie detector test will get them off of that tree and on a different tree, don't you think that will help?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll, back to what we talked about yesterday, it'll show your innocence, it'll show you didn't do it, it'll show you don't even need immunity. Okay? It'll prove all those things.
Because lie detector tests are not permissible in court.
Oh, I still need immunity.
Okay, but I'm just trying. You said you'll do that for me.
What a lie detector test does is what a person's saying to someone they're trying to prove to. Like people go to Dr. Phil and do it, places like that.
Okay, all right. Hey, Tisha, listen. I'm willing to take the lie detector test. You brought it up. I mean, I'm willing to work with you or whatever. You can contact the FBI and do it. I'm willing to take that result for my peace of mind. But if you're going to sit here and tell me it's not worthwhile, then why even talk about it?
I said for you. I said I wanted to do it for you. You're focusing on doing it for someone else. I'm trying to tell you, I wanted.
No. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about Gannon. If they're barking up the wrong tree, babe, if they're barking up the wrong tree, this will get them on the right tree. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to reach out to Amber, whatever her name is. That's the FBI lady that I talked to the one time, and you need to tell her whatever you're willing to do or not do. Okay. That's the only way I know to go about it. So, but instead of me waiting on the lie detector test for me and you, I know that'll confirm it. Just tell me the truth right now.
You won't even help me get the freaking ID so I can go to a doctor's office, and you want me to just keep going over and over and over the same thing. Yeah,
Tisha, yes, I do, because
did you kick me off of TRICARE or something?
I can't kick you off of TRICARE. That only happens anyways. You're trying to spin this in a different direction. We're talking about Gannon here.
Just trying to go to the doctor. That's it.
You can go to the doctor any day of the week. I can't kick you off of TRICARE.
They took all my stuff.
Don't forget, she needs to go to the doctor because she's pregnant.
An ID.
You need the sponsor social security number, and I know you know my social, so don't even play me, Tisha.
Go on base.
Okay.
Without the ID.
Well, if you got to go to the doctor that bad, go to the doctor somewhere. It will pay the fee. Okay. That's. I'm not gonna say that's irrelevant, but we're focused on Gannon right now. Okay.
Okay, and we're trying to be with you to focus on Gannon. So I'm asking you
and guess what? We are talking together right now, so we are working together on this right now on the phone. Okay.
Come stay with you, and I will meet them to do the test and everything.
Wow.
Listen, I need the truth first, and that's what I've said the whole time. Tell me the same. Listen, let's just stop. Okay. No, don't oh God me.
You lie detector test, and now it's still not good enough for you, Albert.
No, it is. It's perfect. That's what I want you to do. Okay. Because there has been multiple stories, but tell me the story right now that you're going to tell on the lie detector test. That's what I want.
You don't tell stories on a lie detector.
I know. Okay. Do you want me to put you through that and ask you questions? I'll do it. Okay. Is the bike accident a true story? Did he fall and bust his head, or was his head already bleeding before you got there? Which one is it?
Bleeding.
I'm just asking. Was the bike accident true?
It's already be bleeding.
I don't know, because I've fallen off my bike 100 times and didn't bust my head bad enough to go to the 911, right? Okay. I'm just trying to sort through this. Is the bike accident true?
Albert, I did not hurt Gannon.
I didn't ask you that. Okay. Is the bike accident true? It's yes or no. This is a lie detector test right now. Yes or no?
Somebody has Gannon, Albert. I need protection to help you.
I understand that.
Oh my God. It doesn't matter how many times I hear this. It is just as enraging. And this is one of the calmer calls. It's a simple yes or no, right? Are you going with that story? Someone has Gannon. Okay. So was the bike accident, which is the most recent story she told, is that the one you're going with? Insistence on being with him and alone is because she wanted to take him out. I don't think so. I think she was listen, from what we learned, Letecia had a long history of faking incidences. She staged at least 2 break-ins prior to this with Gannon, down to, and police were involved, down to hanging a hammer and shooting a gun at someone who wasn't there. She faked many pregnancies. This was not unusual, but she always managed to manipulate Al, and it most likely came down to those vulnerable moments and having sex and, come on, babe, you know I wouldn't lie to you. You know what I mean? And I think that's what she was trying to do to him. If I could just get to him, if I could just sleep with him, if I could just use my manipulation, I could get him on my side.
I'm trying to help you right now.
Beat me. He will abuse me. He will hurt me. And I keep telling you this, and you're not catching the hint.
Is the bike accident true? That's where we're starting.
Are you going to protect me from him?
We're gonna, yes, you're gonna, once you call Amber, you're gonna get the protection you need. I don't have a gun, I don't have a badge, Amber does, and she's the one that's gonna protect you.
But you are my husband.
I am. And as your husband, you need to respect that I'm trying to give you the best guidance I have, okay, and get you to the protection you're asking for. If you call Amber, she'll get somebody with you wherever you're at to protect you, okay?
But why aren't you willing to do that?
How am I going to protect you against people trying to beat you and kill you?
Come live with you because you are my husband and you're supposed to provide for us a place to stay.
Right. And I've done that from day one. So you're not going to question my ability to protect and provide you. So listen, hey, back up. You said you wanted to do something for me.
Yes, no, Albert.
No.
Come stay with
I'm not answering any questions right now because you told me that you do something for me, and that's answer some yes and no questions, basically a lie detector.
Be with you. I didn't say like you're going to put me on. We can talk about this in person. Why does it have to be over phone so you can like record people and shit?
So now I'm recording you. What you've done to me for 5 years is what I'm doing to you. That's projection, Tisha, and I'm not putting up with that, okay?
See how he said, what you've done to me for 5 years? Al has a long history dealing with Letecia like this, which makes me really upset that he stayed with her. But just use it as a lesson for anybody who may be in a similar situation. Get out.
All right.
Did you record me yesterday?
No, why would I record you? I haven't recorded anything. What are you talking about?
Was you coaching you what to say?
No, I don't need a coach. I've done this for a living for 11 years, Tisha.
I said I want to talk to you in person.
All right, well, guess what? Your freaking sister's calling me. Tell her to leave me alone.
Who? What sister?
Amy, whatever her name is.
She shouldn't be calling you. Don't even talk to them.
Well, I've been getting calls and texts from all your people, and I'm sick of it. Listen, you know what? If meeting is what it takes to get to the truth, I'll meet with you. But you need to answer some questions first. That is your way of proving to me that a meeting is worthwhile. Okay?
Okay.
Number one, I got 3 or 4 questions, okay? Number one, is the bike accident true?
No.
No.
Wow.
Is Quincy Brown true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what happened? Okay, that's my next question. What happened to get Gannon to Quincy Brown? How did Quincy Brown get my son?
It doesn't matter how many times I tell you, you're still going to call me a liar.
No,
you're not going to take
that's not true now. That's not true. I've given you every opportunity to tell the truth, just like I'm doing now, okay? I haven't called you a liar. I've said some pieces of the story have been not true, okay? I'm not sitting here calling you names. I'm not putting you down. I'm asking for truth, okay? You said the bike accident is not true now. Fair enough. We're done with that, okay? What happened?
We were going to get you a bike, though. That was true.
Okay, so you were going to get me a bike. Fine. Okay, let's get past the bike. If the bike has nothing to do with anything, then let's just forget about the bike and the trip to the bike.
Trying to be a cool mom, okay?
Okay.
To hang out with some friends. And I was just trying to be cool because I'm never looked at as being cool.
Oh,
so I
my
told him,
God.
hey, you can have a sleepover, whatever, yada, yada, yada. That was supposed to happen on Saturday or something. He did have this friend that had a car. And I told him, your daddy said no. I told him that on Sunday or whatever day it was. But prior to that, he'd already said something to me about this. And I tried to talk him through the situation. So the plan was he was going to have a sleepover. We split both the beds together. Yada, 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 yada.
Yada, yada,
This was supposed to be the plan. I was just trying to be a cool mom. I just wanted to be accepted.
I was just trying to be a cool mom. Tisha. And she's yada, 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 whatevering through all of the important details.
That was just supposed to be the plan. I was just trying to be a cool mom. I just wanted to be accepted by Gannon for him to be like, wow, yeah, she's always kind of strict on us, but maybe she let me do a little bit that I shouldn't probably be doing. Hey, that's all.
Yeah, but okay, that's
It went downhill from there. I'm telling you.
okay.
Like, I didn't do anything to Gannon.
Okay, so
all these people, listen to me.
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
Tired of all these people putting all this stupid stuff about blood and all this bullcrap. If there's any blood in the house, it's because of Gannon. Gannon bleeds all the time.
Okay.
There's no massacre occurred in our home. It's not what people are putting in their head. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
Hey, it's nothing. I'm sick of hearing people say, well, if he hurt his foot, he...
Oh no, Margie, I hope you're okay. I'm happy to be able to take it off your mind for a bit, but I hope you're okay. We just saw the photos. And she's like, if there's any blood in that home, it's from Gannon. Like, it's because of Gannon. She's still blaming Gannon for everything.
Could be walking. Oh my God. It was just blood from his foot. That's it. There was no, like, he hit his head or bullcrap like that. I'm tired of all these conspiracy theories, and now it's in your head that you think that I've done something to Gannon in our house, because that's what you said yesterday. That is not true. There's blood there's just simply from what happened to his foot. And yes, I've already admitted to you that his arm was burned.
Okay.
He admitted that to you. Wasn't that bad? Did it have blood? Yes. And from where the candle was.
But,
I did everything I could. So if you're asking about that part of it, you see, what y'all were doing is trying to take two different things. You're trying to think that just because I didn't abuse Gannon emotionally in that video, nothing. The whole point of that was he was so upset. It wasn't about, it was meaning I was going to replace the items for him. It was trying to be, okay, don't worry about it. It's a secret. I'm not going to say anything. I was trying to be cool.
She was trying to be cool.
Maybe if I let my guard down for trying to be cool, I let him stay up 30 minutes late that night, trying to be cool. Just trying to be like, we'll start working on, hey, you stand up 30 minutes later than Lena. So any of that you got from some mind that people were trying to say I was abusing him on some video shit, it was not. Gannon was upset because I was sitting there holding him. And everybody saying something about whatever. I assessed the situation. It wasn't a lot of tons and tons of blood. We got it up. It was on his wall a little bit. I mean, it was not even a lot.
So you cleaned his wall up?
He did.
Oh, okay.
There was blood on the things we cleaned up stuff. It was nothing. It was from his arms and his foot. That's all.
Okay.
Don't put me outside. There was nobody's head hit. You could hear in all these stories. Gannon's head was hit. He was doing this. No. Albert, if he would have been in that situation, I get on the phone and I call 911. I'm not stupid. Do you think I'd much rather be sitting here with someone saying that I was being irresponsible or whatever than someone accusing me of hurting a child? Do you think that?
Yes.
That's the way I panic at the sight of blood?
Yep.
Yes, I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, stop peeling it. He peeled it and peeled it and peeled it. If I yell at him for peeling it, it's going to look like I'm mad at him. You don't understand.
Okay.
Everybody the true story, but what they're doing is they're coming in there and trying to say just because some lady who thinks she's hot chick that's been talking to you, apparently she posts online all this bullshit.
Who? What lady?
I don't know, trivia, somebody.
Who?
Stalking his Instagram.
She's fucking stupid.
I haven't talked to nobody.
Okay, well, she's online saying she's talking to you and Landon, and you and Landon was saying there was blood all over Gannon's room. Blood everywhere in the house. Blood on the stairs.
Who is this now?
That is not true. If it was anything, it was from the foot, and I stepped outside. I stepped in it on the carpet when I freaking took the carpet up that we walk outside on. But nobody cares that that's how it happened. That's where blood came from. Yeah, it was not puddles. If we cleaned it up and smeared it, sorry.
What freaking lady are you talking to?
The beds were already put together because I already told Gannon he could have a sleepover.
The beds were pushed together.
I had pushed them together because I had told him Sunday he could have a sleepover.
Why?
I didn't.
Gannon had 2 beds in his bedroom, both on each corner. Why would you push those 2 beds together for 2 young boys to sleep in one big bed versus them just sleep in the separate beds? That makes no sense.
Know that his stomach was going to go to start hurting. I had already said he was doing his box.
But who was the sleepover with? Was it Braden?
He just asked me, could he have a sleepover, even though it was a school night, after we were going to hike. And the reason I said yes is we were sitting there talking about the whole coach thing. He was talking to me about the sisters, and all he had was sisters. I said yes, just because I felt so bad, because here we are both in an emotional moment. I'm upset about Kobe. He's upset about him having girls, yada, yada, yada. I agree. Sorry. I usually don't agree to things. I was trying to be like, okay, maybe this is a good chance, but maybe bend the rules just a little bit. So yes, to Gannon, you can have a sleepover. Gannon pushed his beds together. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know what happened, why he didn't go ask about sleepover. I don't know what happened wherever. I don't know. He didn't ever come say such and such, didn't say whatever. I just know his stomach was hurting. So I assumed he didn't want to be having a sleepover with the boy, whoever the boy was.
Why?
He didn't tell me.
Hold on. Why? So you were going to let me back up. What?
I was going to let the boy, but he said his brother had a call.
Right. Okay, fine. But he's never pushed the beds together for a sleepover before. Where did that come from?
What do you mean? I do.
No, usually they
did push the beds together. Because they were, Albert, we pushed the beds together because he had all the things lined up around the room in little cardboard boxes. They were all lined up around the room, and we pushed the beds together.
Makes zero sense.
I mean, me pushing the beds together is not a crime.
I'm not saying it was. It's just weird because these.
Defensive much, Letecia?
And to my knowledge, he's never done that.
I guess he was going to build a fort. I don't know.
Okay.
Just for Sunday, they got pushed back. I mean, it was nothing.
Okay. All right.
So that is the only reason. That is the only reason when they got pushed back that he would have had normal. That he would have peeled his arm after it happened on Sunday.
So
why don't you get whoever your friend is, a neighbor that knows all this bullshit, to give you the video footage of running out when the daggone fire was going on. And you will see, oh, was I being whatever? Was I fussing? Was I doing anything but being loving to children?
Right.
You know, I told everybody, oh, it's okay, we're gonna fix it. Nobody was yelling at anybody. Nobody was angry with anybody. Nobody was hurting anybody. Nobody was doing anything wrong.
But so
it wasn't even that. I was scared.
But back up to something you said that I mean that really struck me, Tisha. You said it went downhill. How? What do you mean? How did it go downhill? And then how did this Quincy Brown freaking dude get involved?
The story about Quincy.
Right.
He told
no, but but tell me the part about how did it go downhill? That's what I need to know. You said it went downhill fast and it got out of control, and maybe you freaked out, whatever. But
I never said anything about getting out of control. Now you're putting words in my mouth. I never said
okay, you said it went downhill, Tisha.
I said it went downhill, meaning Gannon was supposed to have a sleepover. His stomach started hurting. That's why we didn't get to have a sleepover. That's what it means. It means that.
Okay. I got you.
He stays up late.
All right. So listen.
See how when I talk to you, do you see how you already put me as if I'm some criminal?
No. I haven't criminalized you at all. I'm asking you questions. That's what you wanted me to do, and I'm asking you questions.
I mean, really? Come on, Albert. That is not you saying to me, gosh, how many times have you left out of town and my wife has took care of everything? That's not you doing that. That's not you taking my side. It's you picking up on something stupid about
Hey, I can't hear you.
building the box. I said, you're saying something about us putting beds together when the child was building a box because you thought this is a box for his son. It's a problem if I get involved, and if it's a problem if I do it the wrong way.
No, I'm just
the right way.
I'm just trying to figure out
everything.
Tisha, babe, listen, okay? I mean, I'm worried to death about Gannon's safety, where he's at, all these things. I mean, yesterday, what you told me the bike story is not true now, okay? But you also said he had a hit.
You know how I feel. You want me to be honest with you? You know how I feel. I feel like if I just tell you something like that, it's what you want to hear. That's honestly how you make me feel. You make me feel if I just tell you there's some truck, because I even sit there and listen to you go, okay, it was an accident. Okay, this is what someone you to say, or you're
No,
because that is not Albert.
no. Yes, actually, yes, it is. You know, as a recruiter, I did the same shit for 11 years, having to dig into people's past and everything, okay? And to get the truth. And you said, all right, listen, you told me, you keep telling me what I just want to hear. I just want to hear the truth, Tisha, okay? All right, hold on. Yesterday, listen, yesterday, and we passed this point, but you said there was a bike accident with a head injury. So is it just a bike accident that's not true? Or is it the head injury also that's not true?
No, there's no head injury or bike accident. I just told you, I feel like you wanted me to say something to you.
Okay, so now, what did freaking Quincy Brown do with Gannon? How did...
Can I ask you something? Do you think first of all, I want you to put this in perspective.
Okay.
Do you think I even know my way around Colorado, first off?
Yeah, we've been here a year now. You go all over the place.
Okay, Colorado Springs, right?
You've been, yes. And we've been all over up there around the outlets, and we've been up there to Denver a bunch. Yes, I think you know a little bit about Colorado, so don't play me on that, Tisha.
I wasn't even going there. Do you see how I said that just to see you jump at me? Do you see how I said that?
Well, good. You got me. You got me jumping, all right? My son's out there missing with Quincy Brown, and you got me jumping. You win, all right? What's your next question?
Listen to me. Can you listen to me?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We'll pause it here, and just for record purposes, I think the timestamp is 29 minutes and 45 seconds.
Looks like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so they stop it there, and we'll pick up the next time because there's another call too, and Amber Cronin is in the room with Al, and if you didn't realize, when every time he's saying call that Amber chick, that Amber whoever, he knows Amber because she's in the room with him. So we will pick up where we just paused there for episode 23. Tomorrow we're doing Wade, so we'll probably jump back to this on Monday for members only Monday. Tomorrow after Wade's live, we will be over on Bendy's channel for a charity stream. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if anybody else is live. Maybe B Crumbs, do you know if Allie's doing her morning coffee crime tomorrow? I don't know, with it being on the weekends, if she's doing her coffee and crime in the morning or not. But just keep an eye out for everything. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your night. Thank you all for being here, and I'll talk to you all soon.
The people are like really nice. Like everybody knows my name.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.